Allow me to proceed.
Senator, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. First is to, of course, condole with the families that have lost loved ones during the curfew. Curfew is now competing with Corona in terms of deaths. In fact, curfew is now leading. Second, Mr. Speaker, for the first time, the narrative must change because Kenyans are now getting the disease. The epidemiology shows that it's no longer the people who traveled abroad that have the disease. Is now communicated between person to person, and therefore the message must change that we must clean our knobs, we must clean our tables, we must clean our doors, we must clean every place where everybody is touching. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we must get to a place. The ministry doesn't want to communicate, but we must get to a place where everybody is wearing a mask like South Africa. We must get EPZ. I saw a clip about the county Kitui producing masks. I don't know how true that is, but the president and the government and through Mutula Kilonzo, we must find a method where cloth masks are available because they can be cleaned. On preparedness, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry to report, and the Committee of Health must listen to this, that the government has provided 4,000 interns, 5,000 skilled workers, another 1,000, but the county governments have not been able to recruit. Only 3 counties have complied. The money might return to Treasury if nothing happens. Mr. Speaker, it has been proposed, in fact, because Kirinyaga is fighting with the County Assembly on the County Public Service Board, Kitui the same, whether this committee can ask the Public Service Commission to hire these interns and these skilled workers so that we are prepared. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, only 3 counties have complied with isolation. Only 3. It's very sad. And this is something the committee must return to us, a verdict as to why the counties have been unable to comply. Fourth, Mr. Speaker, only 3 counties in Kenya can do testing. Only. Certification can only be given to 3 counties: Kisumu, Machakos, and Mombasa. Why? Those are things that this committee must tell us so that, Mr. Speaker, by the time we come back, we do not want to say that health is a devolved function and governors are sleeping on the job. Mr. Speaker, on the question of how we cushion the public, Mr. Speaker, after we finish COVID, people want to go to school, students are supposed to pay loans, people are supposed to pay their mortgages. This committee, make no mistake, you're not just a health committee. You're supposed to provide with stimulus for the country. And ISPAC has given a very good document on the sort of stimulus that we need of micro enterprises, people not waiving loans for 3 months, extending payment of loans for 1 year. Mr. Speaker, but lastly, can we find a method where we can work virtually? Whether it's Senate, whether it's the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, and I'm concerned that the Ministry of Health is telling us that now that Senate is meeting and they have confirmed cases of National Assembly, whether it's going to set a bad precedent. Mr. Speaker, we must be tested. We must be tested. I repeat, we must be tested if we must continue working, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First and foremost, I also want to thank